Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Memory Lanes 150 here for the Elite Racing SMRI Productions Grand National Series. I'm your host, Michael Goodman, and welcome to ERN and another week of Grand National Racing here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. The boys are getting ready to qualify as we speak, qualifying underway for tonight's event. As practice just got wrapped up, we'll see the boys make their qualifying laps here shortly for this event. And of course, last week we had our Signing Day Sports Daytona 250 with Tyler Fody winning the race, and he is not in the field tonight, so we'll have a no repeat winner from last week. And so far, fastest in practice was the 19 car of David Tucker. And trying to see if we can get some of these cars on Speedway. Must not be able to see them qualify, but looking forward to tonight's event. Should be a good one here tonight. Lots of grooves for racing. You might see them 3, maybe even 4 wide at times. And it'll be a spectacular event, that is for sure. Not sure why we can't see them qualifying on the Speedway right now. Hopefully not having an issue. That would be unfortunate for tonight's event. See if we can get something going here. Sometimes we can watch qualifying, sometimes not. We'll get the replay going, just making sure. And going to a 5-minute qualifying. And top 23 on time, and they do have a heat race as well. So it appears they are going in their qualifying as we speak. Just unable to see it at the moment. So bear with us. Or me, I guess. And we'll get back to the live racing action again. You're listening to the or watching. I guess kind of listening. There's nothing going on in the track right now. Listening to me talk, ramble, and fill the time up until this 5 minutes is over. Hopefully that goes over smoothly. I'm hoping we do not have issues. That would not be cool. But anyway, fastest in practice, David Tucker, looking to get back into victory lane. I believe 2 of the PER cars were on the top of practice with teammate Ethan Burrell in second. And I'm not getting qualifying times up. So I'm a little worried that I might not be getting anything on here right now. We'll be right back after a short break.
Well, you want to be the best. You can.
Richmar Florist makes every day a special day, from weddings and large events to that little something for any occasion. Richmar Florist has the perfect floral expression, and they're open online 24/7 at richmarflorist.com. Everywhere, every day. Richmar's 2 retail locations offer a fantastic selection of floral creations, gifts, and home decor. Book your free consultation in our showroom for your special event needs, and visit us online at richmarflorist.com today.
What? Oh boy. Why is everything fucked up? Oh, got me? Oh, here we go. I am having issues now. The session, like, went wacky, and now it won't load for me. A little worried. Yeah, no kidding. It says the simulator's launched. It says it's already running, but it's not. Yeah, it's not even on in there. Oh, it is! Fucking hidden. What the hell? Oh my, oh my goodness. I've been just like replaying these ads all over and over again. Till I get it going here. Okay, good. So at least we have that going. Are you comfortable taking kind of the lead here too tonight? I can kind of fill in with you. Sweet. It's a little easier for me to focus on cameras and stuff. Oh no. Oh shit. Oh, ad ended again.
Richmar Florist makes every day a special day, from weddings and large events to that little something for any occasion. Richmar Florist has the perfect floral expression, and they're open online 24/7 at richmarflorist.com. Everywhere, every day. Richmar's 2 retail locations offer a fantastic selection of floral creations,
I let them know
gifts,
that I was
and
having
home
some
decor.
issues, 'cause,
Book
like,
your free
normally I can
consultation
see what
in
the
our
qualifying
showroom
times
for your
were on
special
my
event
timing
needs,
screen
and visit us online at richmarflorist.com today.
Some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. We got to miss heat racing, which actually wasn't heat racing. It was just drivers pacing for 3 laps to make sure everyone was in line. We got 40 drivers to be running here, and top of the board going to be that of Scott Crump with Gerald Campbell in second place. So our graphic might be a little off, but once the drivers start moving, it should fix the graphic. But it's also going to be that of Garrison Hogan in third, with that of Barbary going to be in that fourth position. Chad Frankenfield in fifth. Ethan Burrell going to be in that sixth position. That of Hank Steinmiller, Thomas Sherman, Chad Thornquist, as well as that of Trevor Elm going to be in 10th, finishing out your top 10. The rest of the field, you'll be seeing it move on the ticker. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Michael Goodman. Michael, you let off the show. We're here at Homestead, and certainly should be a fun one. Multiple grooves with that progressive banking, and we've already started on a fun note.
Oh, we had a fun time. Hopefully we got all the bugs ironed out here. Hopefully everything will go smoothly the rest of the night, just as the same for these 40 drivers out here. And a very fun racetrack, as you said, multiple grooves. Hopefully we'll see some 3-4 wide action, and hopefully these boys can keep it clean.
Keeping it clean is going to be the main factor here tonight, as drivers are lined up, ready to go. Pace car is off, and green flag as Scott Crump was not able to get going. In the middle of the field, they are jammed up 3 wide already.
Oh.
Battling in the middle of 12th position. They're 3-4 wide. Back here for 20th. It is a madhouse for this field currently.
Yeah, and it looked like even some cars got sideways. I believe that was Ethan Reisner that went around. Let's see if I can still trying to work out the timing and scoring here a little bit. Some cars off the track, or nope. I'm still working out some issues, but yeah, it looked like the 86 of Ethan Reisner went around on the restart as they stacked up, trying to get the scoring right, as it's still not correct on the side of your screen here.
It should reset, and it's resetting now.
There we go.
It is that Chad Frankenfield up front did make the pass on that of Garrison Hogan up in the lead pack, and they're spinning at it too. As, oh boy, Jeff Green going to be the first driver to go around, and multiple drivers joining in the fun.
Oh, unfortunate for Jeff Green. Looks like not too much damage to the front end of his machine, but the chaos continued. It's not even just me here tonight. It's those guys out on the racetrack, and hopefully get to regroup here a little bit. We can settle in here a little bit.
Yeah, I think the driver that got a pretty good view of all that carnage had to be Ryan in the 46. He had to try to avoid, and to avoid, he found himself spinning himself around. We're only 2 laps into this race, already our first caution, and with our ticker now reset, everything should be good from here on out, as I'm knocking on wood.
Yeah, we'll knock on wood here. We'll take a look at the replay, and it looked like Jeff Green just putting a little too much gas on. Corner exit goes around, and oh, that 46 did have a little bit of a scary view there, a bit of a pucker factor, as he barely dodges the wreck. See if we can get on board with him, which right now currently not able to. Oh, here we go. No, I lied. And hold on here, get a different camera angle. And we'll get that in-car view, because I think he went through quite the ride here to try to avoid that 38. You see him spinning up ahead. Oh, he thought he chose the right lane until last second, and yeah, just turn it down, spin it out, and cut your losses. He should be able to keep going and join back into the fun. So yeah, chaotic start here for all of us, and we'll get it all reset and settle down, and let's get going again.
Yeah, we're hoping that this settles some of these drivers down. We've had a total of 7 coming to pit road to get some service done, being led by that of Casey Hatch in the 14, back in 33rd position. But all the drivers that are up front decide to keep their track position currently and where they're running. But okay, I think we're all reset. We're good. We're at Homestead. This is race number 2. Last week, Tyler Fody won at Daytona. And here tonight for the memory lanes, 150 here at Homestead. 4 laps into the race, already under our first caution. Michael, I mean, not much for us to really talk about early, except for the fact that Chad Frankfield made his dash quickly to get up into the lead.
Yeah, he's looking for a rebound. Had tough break at Daytona last week, getting involved in an incident early. So for him to be up front, leading some laps, it is early yet, but hopefully he can turn that fortune around to what has been a tough speed weeks last week.
Yeah, and looking at some of the drivers that had to actually start further back. The reason why Scott Crump did get the pole position, but actually got an EOL for himself as well, for that of Jeff Green, as well as that of Goodman and many others in the back that got EOLs for having the wrong paint schemes, banners for themselves. So that means they had to start in the back to get EOL. Start of the race. And then we'll see if some of these drivers that we know are going to be quick, especially for Scott Crump, how well can he cut his way through this field? He's all the way back in 32nd position. Always, that 90 is a threat on every course we go to.
Yeah, he's always quick, and I'll be looking. They don't have as much work to do, but that 37 of Ethan Burrell and the 19 of David Tooker, they were fastest in practice, 1 and 2. See if they can work themselves back up into the front spot. But right now, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Chad Frankenfield's going to lead him off in a great restart. As he pulls away from Hogan, he's going to clear him as they take the green flag.
As we are green going into turn number 1, it's going to be Chad Frankenfield, Hogan, that of Campbell, as well as Steinmiller, your top 4. But they're almost 3 wide for that 3rd place position. Campbell's got a bunch of drivers trying to make a late charge here. Chad Thornquist coming to the inside. Great run for the 92. As he'll try to make the pass here. Not able to fully clear that of Campbell, but keeping it close with Steinmiller.
I'm really surprised this early on in the going that a lot of these guys are choosing that bottom lane. Usually when we come to Homestead, you see a lot of top dwellers. They run kind of the Kyle Larson line right up against the wall. But as of right now, seems like many of these drivers, there you see that 37 of Ethan Burrell kind of enjoying that Kyle Larson line. But a lot of these guys choosing the bottom early will be maybe as the tire wear goes on here, we'll see these guys choose some different lanes.
Yeah, you think someone's going to be choosing something different, as saw a driver go down low, and that was Kendall Noah player that got a little bit out of sorts further back in the field. But yeah, for that of Ethan Burrell, he's trying to utilize that top line. He's also got David Tooker following directly behind him, as well as Thomas Sherman. Those 3 drivers, they're loving that outside groove, trying to make it work to get by that of Steinmiller.
Yeah, it looks like Burrell's gonna do it, being high, wide, and handsome, going 3 wide there for a minute. Tooker closing the gap on Thornquist coming out of turn 2. So those guys, they were stout in practice, looking pretty stout early on in the going here as they're working their way up through the field. Burrell working himself up into the 4th position, and David Tooker trying to look for that 6th spot over Thornquist. Looks like he'll take it as they cross the line.
Across the line, still Chad Frankenfield, down to Garrison Hogan, Gerald Campbell, your top 3. And they're trying to just pull away from the rest of the pack. They've got over a second lead from that of Chad Frankenfield back to Ethan Burrell. But our top 3, they're all within 3/10 of one another, keeping it close. But for 4th on back, it certainly is a train of cars trying to pick and choose. I think everyone's figuring out, follow the 37. He might take you to the promised land up front.
Yeah, just that little bit of racing side by side, I think that was able to, the top 3 was able to pull away. But this last lap by, I guess pretty similar lap speeds. It looks like Hogan was the fastest lap out of the, or actually the Campbell was the fastest car in the 3rd position out of top 5. But as the field's kind of thinning out, getting into the groove here, a little bit of side by side action back for the little further back in the pack. But right now, just kind of settling it in. Trying to work around. You see I think that's Joshua Adams working in that high line. Little bit of rear end damage to his 95 machine as well.
Yeah, I mean, when we first started this race, there were a lot of drivers that stacked up on top of one another. A lot of wheel spin action happened. So I'm not surprised to see some of these drivers with either front end or rear end damage at all. But right now, looking at the field,
Ooh.
everyone's trying to get themselves single filed out, but it's coming out of turn number 2, where we've seen a lot of drivers get loose further back in the field.
Yeah, and it looked like it was a 3-wide situation with Keys, Robin, and Crump made a little bit of contact. You might have barely seen it on your screen there, but everyone able to keep going as we remain green flag racing here as we come to lap number 12. And Key and Crump still battling. This is back. This is a little bit further back in the pack. This is for 22nd position. Still haven't quite thinned it out this far back in the pack yet. Trying to work it out. And see Casey Hatch back there as well in the 24th spot. He's trying to move his way up through the field. So a lot of guys, we might see a lot of give and take early on in the race here. But as we wind down, things might get a little bit more hairy.
Yeah, I mean, when we were seeing that, Brandon Key trying to follow and battle with that of Scott Crump. Both the drivers started all the way back. I mean, for that of Key, started back in 37th position. And then for Crump, he got the EOL, so had to start all the way back in the back of the pack. So both the drivers done a great job. They're halfway through this pack. Still, got a lot of work to do, but still a lot of racing. We're only 13 laps in of this 100-lap course.
Yeah, it's a long way until this one does get settled, and so far looking pretty good is Chad Frankenfield, but it almost looks like Hogan's just kind of riding around. He's content with running in second, it appears at the time, maybe trying to save his tires for the long run. We'll see if he has anything for Frankenfield as it looks, as I say that, now he goes for the lead. Maybe he didn't want to wait. He's going to battle for that lead going into 3 side by side. Looks like Hogan's got the run. See if he gets it off the exit of the corner. If he's going to pull a little bit of a slide job, yes, he will. Hogan's going to take the lead on lap number 15. And we have a new leader. That's that 56 machine.
Garrison Hogan does a great job for himself up to the lead position. And we're starting to see those drivers. If you're running low, it seems like you've got a lot of speed to show for yourself. But looking at the last couple of laps for these drivers, Garrison Hogan, by that last lap, obviously the fastest driver by about a tenth over some of these other guys, or 2/10 more. The next fastest guy would be that of Hank Steinmiller back in 4th position, and he's trying to make a late charge to gain up to our top 3. But it's just too far of a gap, it seems. Everyone else up front in our top 3 really need to lose time if Hank Steinmiller wants to get in the mix of this.
Yeah, and now the trend is seeming to go. I mean, we haven't been green too long, maybe about 10 laps or so, but maybe starting to think about short pitting or what your pit strategy may be. That might be a factor coming into play as the field's kind of spreading out just a little bit. And usually at a track like Homestead, we've seen it here before on ERN that different strategies. I know that 15 car of Chad Frankenfield, he's the master of short pitting. So it's never too early to kind of think about what your strategy may be, just in case we do have a long green flag run.
I'm also wondering, I know usually in the truck series, we saw it during Speed Week for all the Super Speedway racing, there were stage breaks. I am not told on when the stage break, or if there is a stage break for this race, so that's also going to be up in the air for these drivers.
I don't believe we have stage breaks. Usually only the truck series has the yellows for the stage breaks, or last week at Daytona they had the points for the stage breaks and no yellows. So here tonight we should be good on with no yellows, but ever since Hogan here took the lead, you see him pulling away by half a second. He's running a little bit faster here, not quite a tenth faster than, it looks like maybe scraped the wall just a little bit. But doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much as he's pulling away by over 0.6 of a second over that 15 car of Chad Frankenfield.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield, he's fallen back to 0.7, and he's now got that of Gerald Campbell on his back bumper. And as our leaders really charging and pretty spread out from where they're at right now, it's the battle for 6th place. It's one of the closest ones in our top 10. It's that of Thomas Sherman doing his best to figure out what type of entry he wants to get to attack the 37 Ethan Burrell. We saw Burrell being one of the hard chargers early, making that outside line work, but I think we're starting to see the repercussions of being aggressive in those first 5 to 10 laps.
Yeah, it looks like he charged up through the field, got us all the way up to 4th, but now falling back a little bit. And I think the last time we showed him on screen, he was battling that 92 car of Chad Thornquist, but right now Thornquist is going to be looking on the inside, charging way down almost to the yellow or white line, not a yellow line here, and coming out of the corner, just doesn't get that run off. And oh, Isabella looks like he has a little bit of an issue, getting sideways. Looks like he was able to
turn number 2.
Yeah, these cars, it seems like they're so tight on entry, but they can snap on you if you're just a little bit too much gas, and I think we've seen that a little bit here tonight. As looks like Isabella back in the 16th position, trying to regroup and battle his way back up to the front.
Isabella right now battling with that of Clark and also having a little bit of drivers behind. That's Trey Holmes as well as Colin Fern. Fern, one of the last drivers to officially qualify in, didn't have to run in that heat race, which was more kind of pacing for the drivers since we didn't have more than 20 drivers in that heat race. Everyone just stayed in their position, didn't have to worry about making a qualifying run. But we're seeing that of Fern trying to still work the outside lane. There's still some drivers trying to search for speed up there, but it seems like we might be too far into a run. That inside lane is where you want to be preferred.
Yeah, it seems like on the beginning parts of a run, you can kind of make that work. You do see a little bit of damage on the front end of that 69 machine as well. Doesn't appear to be hampering him too much, but you wonder how much if he has to drive that car just a little bit harder, maybe wearing his stuff out, but still working himself up into now the 17th position, eyeing that 28 of Vincent Isabella.
And Isabella still trying to recover after that little bit of a slide, but doing a great job currently at doing it. As we were watching the drivers further back, there was a pass for second place. Chad Frankenfield is dropped back to 4th, and Hank Steinmiller is caught up to 2nd place. Now trying to make the pass on the 31 is that of the 63.
Yeah, it looks like Steinmiller's saving his stuff here on this run, just kind of being smooth so far, worked his way up into 3rd, and currently has his sights set on defending Cup Series champion Gerald Campbell. And last time by was a couple tenths faster, and you see him go to the inside on turn number 3, seeing if he can make that inside stick. And look at the run that Steinmiller has, and he's going to easily pass Campbell, move him up to the 2nd spot. But now he's got a tall order if he wants to go chase down that 56 of Garrison Hogan, as he's now up to a 1.8 second lead.
And driver having issues, Jeff Green, a driver we already saw have issues bringing out our first yellow. Yeah, a little bit frisky with that of Kendall Noah Player coming out of turn 4 that last time by. But luckily, all staying straight, but you're not wanting more contact after getting damaged early on from the spin and contact with other drivers. There's quite a bit of right side damage on that 38 machine. It's going to be a long time to get through, as well as we're starting to see some of these drivers that had to come into pit road were 33rd or further back that had to come into pit road, and furthest of those drivers that made a pit stop was Casey Hatch. He's up to 22nd.
Yeah, Hatch working his way up and looking pretty stout right now in that Army machine. Looking on the inside. There, I was going to say it's Colin Fern, but they have similarly painted paint schemes, and that's the 68 of John Boger. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name correctly. If not, I apologize.
I believe you're right on that, but same thing with me. I see a name. I either just stick with a number or give it our best shot.
Yeah. I just went in and Delfor tried it out, as he's going to fall back into the 22nd position. As Casey Hatch moves up to that 21st, so just trying to keep it smooth here early on in the going with those fresh tires. And, these guys, I don't think they're going to be able to go too many laps. I think it was, we had it on lap 2 that caution came out when these guys came down pit road. And with the limited set of tires that they have, I'm going to kind of guess it's going to be probably around 4 sets that they have for this event. So I'm assuming, like, when they came down lap 2, they would not have gotten those tires.
Yeah, I think the only driver that I saw that took tires for sure was Jeff Green. Possible we saw that of David Westergreen and Dustin Durd. Possibly could have taken tires. So those are the three drivers that could have possibly taken it. Everyone else still have a total of 3 sets in pit road to figure out how to utilize them here for this 100-lap race. But I was starting to look at some of these lap times. Our leader right now of that of Hogan running almost about a second and a half off of what his best time was. But that was just based off his last lap compared to his best lap that he's ran. So drivers having to figure out, do they want to come in and short pit or stay out a little bit longer? It's coming up to lap 30. You'd imagine they would think about coming in around lap 30 to 35, but that's the window I'm assuming. But you never know. Some guys like to stretch it out just a little bit further.
Yeah, you know, there's if I remember correctly, there was 2 trains of thought. A lot of the guys could maybe make it on 1 or 2 stops if you stretch it, and some guys might even make it a 3-stop race with the short pitting. And as you said, the fall off here almost being a second and a half, and probably more than likely going to get worse. It might pay off to have the short pitting, but you can also get in trouble very quickly with an untimely caution. And I know from experience, anytime I've attempted to short pit, that's what happens. And either way, and if I stay out, then a caution never comes either. So I guess I can't win on strategy, so I might not be the expert to talk about on that one.
Well, the first driver that's going to test green flag pit stops, it's going to be that of Joshua Adams into pit road for the 95. Following behind is Kendall Noah Player. So starting to see drivers coming in around that lap 31. And around lap 33 to 34 would be the window for drivers that are going to be trying to just utilize 2 tires. So only making it a 2-stop race. But quick yellow coming out.
Oh.
And it's Scott Haney in the 3. Spun around on the backstretch.
Oh, no. Scott Haney in the 3. Going around. Oh, Westergreen with damage on his machine as well. They'll bring out the caution here on lap 32. And heavy damage to the rear end of his car. We'll get a look and see what brought out this yellow. So kind of an untimely caution there, just as we spoke of for guys like Joshua Adams. And lost my ticker there. Hold on, we'll try to get the little bit more issues here going on. We'll get the replay going in.
I know there's no full moon, but maybe there is one here tonight as we're seeing Scott Haney and Westergreen. I believe this was them after. This is live showing.
This is live showing, and I'll try to get. See, guys don't see me poking around here on the computer, but yeah, as they're catching it back up to the field, and we're getting the thing back going. And unfortunate here, he was representing Miss Goodies Goodies there. He was carrying my colors here tonight, so being a little bit biased, I was rooting for him, hoping he was going to have a good run, but unfortunately, I believe he got even in the earlier incident, the chaos on lap number 1. As now I do have the stuff loading up here.
Yeah,
we'll try to get
high live timing. But everyone coming into pit road and no one's staying out, which this was around the time that drivers were thinking about coming into pit road. And the incident really was a factor of Scott Haney and David Westergreen just colliding with one another off the exit of turn 2, and both drivers heavy contact for both of themselves.
Let's see, now I do have it back up. I'll try to see if I can get the replay going here. Hopefully no more bad juju on the computer here. As it looks like they just got together. We'll take a peek at the replay. See Haney on the inside, Westergreen kind of choosing the outside. Oh, it looks like they just kind of fighting for the same real estate. Haney comes up, Westergreen comes down, and collision, and a hard hit for both drivers. And hopefully they can salvage something from the day. But as you see that 12 car, heavy damage to the front end, missing that front bumper. It might be a long night for Westergreen. And you got to wonder how hard Haney hit the wall as well, if he'll be able to keep up pace once we get going back green.
It looks like some drivers coming into pit road get some more service after coming in their first time. As Trey Holmes going to be, I believe he actually stayed out to try to get a lap led and had to come back into pit road to get service done. A little bit of top off going to that of Adams, as well as getting some damage repair. But David Westergreen still in pit road getting repairs done. And looking at some of the drivers and where they lie, looks like that of Adams going to be left being one lap down. But I think Kendall Noah Player is aiming to try to get his lap back. Not trying to take the wave around here.
Yeah, trying to see a long race, and again, just coming down pit road should be good to go from here and get back on the lead lap, get back in contention. But as we see after the pit cycle came through, Hogan and Steinmiller still your top two. Thomas Sherman got on and off pit road, moves up into the 4th position. See, Tooker as well worked his way up in the top 5. And again, after being fast in practice, going to be interesting to see how they those two PER cars that they can move themselves up now that we're kind of re-racking the field here on lap number 35.
Restacking them, and this really, the caution came out right when we were expecting a lot of drivers to come into pit road to make this, at least those that were going to turn this race into a 2 pit stop race for themselves. But for the rest of the field, hey, this works out for them. Maybe they might have to change their timing. But do want to give a huge thanks to our sponsors for that of Memory Lane. Memory Lane is in the heart of Athens, Wisconsin, a historic building with a modern day touch, and a place with young and old can come together. Truly gives a Memory Lane its characters, though, is on its owner and operated by Randy. Go down to that of Memory Lane. Go check out their building and have some fun. And thank you so much, Memory Lane, for being our title sponsor for tonight's race here at Homestead.
Yeah, I got to say, give a big shout out to Randy. I'm sure he's watching at home, or maybe even at Memory Lanes here tonight. And we're hoping your car out there, Dustin Dewar, currently scored back in the 24th position. Had a little bit of trouble on the start, but trying to rebound and rally. He's showing that do-good grip, but we're going back to green flag racing as Hogan gets on that loud pedal. He's going to clear Steinmiller going into one good restart. And right now, Steinmiller is going to have a handful with that 31 car of Campbell trying to get by and fight for that second position.
Oh, absolutely. Drivers getting aggressive out here as they are 4 wide back in 24th position. But up front, it's all that of Garrison Hogan trying to pull away. Let's see the FRN one of that of Thomas Sherman trying to make the inside lane work. But you also see Chad Frankenfield, a driver that was leading in the first 5 to 10 laps of this race. After a long green flag run, that 15 car dropped off like a rock, lost a lot of positions. He's got to find that long run speed if the 15 wants a shot to win this thing. But behind them, Matthew Weeks as well as Chad Thornquist. They're trying to make their charge forward, but it's Dylan Thomas. That's probably my biggest mover so far. Doing a great job. He qualified back in 13th, up to 8th, and just slowly marching his way forward, as well as that of David Tooker, who qualified in 14th, right now in 4th.
Yeah, and that 03 of Dylan Thomas finished second last week at Daytona, trying to get another good, strong run as he's worked his way into the top 10. And just a note on Chad Frankenfield and how he kind of ran that first stint, maybe falling back, maybe burning up those tires just a little bit. Been there before, and sometimes, and luckily maybe that caution came out, because now you can kind of regroup, run your strategy of your race a little bit different as you see him dropping back in the 8th position as Weeks gets by, and maybe save those tires a little bit. I've burnt tires on a first run before, and then was able to figure out how to make them last a little bit longer, but by that time, a little too late because I did not get the benefit of a caution. So luckily for Frankenfield, maybe now playing the long con game is they're gonna try to maybe settle in for another long green flag run.
Starting to see some more drivers moving forward. Hank Steinmiller no longer wants to be second fiddle, now up to the lead for the 63. And the battle currently for third place. David Tooker getting by that of Gerald Campbell. But Campbell's going to watch out. Ethan Burrell, another one of those hard chargers early in runs. He's up to fifth and might want to think about moving to the high line and get a major run on the 31.
Let's see if he does it. Yep, he's going to take that Kyle Larson lane. Not quite the Kyle Larson lane. About a lane down from that, but you'll see him get that good run coming on a corner exit down the back straightaway, but actually looks like even Sherman on the inside.
Oh, wreck in the back. Jeff Green once again finding himself sideways and around, bringing out another yellow here tonight.
Rough night for the 2000 Busch Grand National Series champion as he's involved in another incident, bringing out a yellow. And we'll see what brought out, or see what exactly happened to that 38 machine.
Looked like a little bit of rough contact that initiated between Tate Lytle and Jeff Green. That's what the catalyst was, but then Jeff Green spent the whole entire turns 1 and 2 doing his best to hold on, as we'll see here on the replay. There's the initial contact with Jeff Green and Tate Lytle, and nowhere to go at all.
Nowhere to go for Key, making a little contact. Oh, net code, it looked like again. And sideways as we've seen him kind of spin after that. No one else getting into him. But a little bit more damage for that 38. You see the left side crinkled in quite a bit. And even that right side looks like it's got some damage as well. So he's going to be looking to come down pit road, get that damage fixed. And the long night for Jeff Green continues, as we are not even quite halfway through this race.
We're not halfway, but a lot of drivers up front deciding to come into pit road. Kind of a shocker to see, but I think these drivers thinking they want to top off on fuel to make sure they're good to go for a little bit longer of a run than maybe they want to go. Or this could be helping them to possibly try to think about stretching it out to maybe just do a short pit later in this run. A lot of strategy calls. As right now, looking at the field, our top 13 did not pit. It's going to be that of David Tooker leading the cavalry out of pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what some of these strategies are going to be. You see Steinmiller is one of the cars that stayed out. If they're going to short pit him, they should have about one to two more sets in the pits yet, or at least one more set. So they could maybe decide in these last, what am I doing math here? 55 laps or so by the time we get going back to green flag racing, if they can maybe short pit one more time, or maybe some of these guys, I would not be surprised if they try to stretch it from here on out. But it's still a long way to go, though. It's probably a little bit longer than that fuel run.
I would not feel comfortable to try to stretch it out that far, but we have seen some drivers think about doing some of the crazier things out here. I mean, I always think of Chuck Sweeting days whenever he would try to just save as much fuel as possible and surprise all of us. And some drivers that are coming in through the Elite Racing League ranks. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of different drivers coming through that have really started, turn some people's heads on who to watch out for moving from trucks into the Xfinity and into the Cup Series.
And one guy here, I'm going to try to get a camera on him, but it appears he's a lap down. I think maybe getting back on the lead lap now. It's a little bit, some of the scoring still a little messed up, but that 86 mega Ethan Reisner, he is one of the guys that's always been a masterful guy to stretch out fuel runs about as long as anyone can, and gets himself into position. Doesn't always work for wins, but a lot of times it gets him into a solid top 15 or maybe even a solid top 10 points, or for a points run. And we'll see if that 86, if anyone's going to do it, I'm putting my money on that 86 of Ethan Reisner.
Yeah, looking at my telemetry, it looks like we only have one car that's a lap down. He's 10 laps down currently and will continue to go a lap down. That's David Westergreen, who's in pit road getting service done. Everyone else of our 39 other drivers on the lead lap, getting stacked up, ready to go. And speaking about worrying, managing your fuel load, or just management in general, well, why don't you go over to Blue Egg Marketing? They can help you out with management as well as marketing departments. Blue Egg Marketing. Thank you so much for being one of the primary sponsors for here at the Elite Racing League and the Elite Racing Network, helping us out. Go check out the Blue Egg Marketing for more information on them, as they've been so helpful for us and just getting more and more help for the drivers and for us up in the booth.
Yeah, Blue Egg, good sponsor. Usually the sponsor you'll see on that 40 machine of Tyler Fody, who is not in the race here tonight, unfortunately. It's been kind of cool to see the sponsor going to victory lane. But up front, two guys trying to go to victory lane here tonight is that 63 of Hank Steinmiller and the 56 of Garrison Hogan. They've been kind of dominating the race as of late, and they'll be starting 1-2. And a couple of guys that stayed out. See Wyatt Canadal in that 84, restarting in fourth, staying out, getting some of that track position as we're back to green flag racing. Steinmiller getting a good start, top three pulling away as we are back under green on lap 45.
And, I mean, it's just impressive, the fact that Scott Crump, yes, he stayed out, but the fact that he's in the top five after having the EOL at the start of the race, started all the way back in last, and he's up to fourth. This 90 machine is going to be a threat to watch out for as their top three trying to pull away as fast as possible, knowing that Crump is coming.
Yeah, Crump is on the move. You know, again, being on the pole, you know he's fast and almost getting in a wreck earlier. We showed that a little bit earlier in our broadcast, trying to hang on and finish, currently running in fourth, trying to chase down the 15 of Chad Frankenfield as they have pulled away. Even Steinmiller pulling away on top of that, about 0.3 of a second lead as you see him coming out of turn number 2. See further back in the pack, Gerald Campbell, who did come down pit road. He's making it 3 wide for a minute there, trying to battle by Richard Hines for that 13th position. Looks like he'll easily take that, and now puts his sight on the 08 of Mark Keeler coming out of turn 4.
Gerald Campbell, one of the few drivers that's decided, you know, instead of saving an extra set for later in this race, I'll use my extra set now. So that last set's going to be a little bit questionable on when they come out. But if this race goes green, watch out for the 31, as well for the 1 of Thomas Sherman, who both of these drivers took a set of tires. There were about 6 drivers under that last caution that all came to pit road, took tires. The rest of the field decided just to go with fuel only or just get repairs. So it's going to be interesting to see how the 31 and the 1, as well as the 08 and the 88, make their charge through this field.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Samuel, but sometimes I like a good pit strategy race just as much as I like side-by-side racing, and this could get very interesting to see what these strategies will play out. I'm be on the edge of my seat trying to figure out who's going to do what as this race unfolds, and while we get there, we're seeing some great action throughout the pack right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a all the different racing, and we're currently watching the battle for 10th place. Gerald Campbell in that 10th place position, but he's got drivers behind him, in front of him, side by side, and then back for 15th. You've got drivers that are side by side, willing to go 3 wide through the corners and just dashing back and forth. And contact going to be made for the 14 further back. It's going to be that of Casey Hatch, making an amazing save on the entry of turn 1, but that could have gone bad after a major bump from the 11 of Matthew Weeks.
He had no harm, no foul. They keep on trucking as we remain green flag. Now it looks like they're going to give each other a little bit more room going into 3. Well, maybe not. They're getting pretty close as Hatch is choosing the middle lane as Weeks is on the bottom. As you see behind them, Dewar and Goodman battling for the 18th position. Looks like Goodman choosing that high, wide, and handsome lane on the outside. Looks like he's going to fall back a couple spots, though, as Dewar, and it looks like Rucker now, and that 64 machine is going to take over those spots. Now actually good run for the 53 coming out of turn 2, and now Rucker does get by and move him up into the 19th position as these positions are just jockeying up through the field as we've seen all these different strategies going on in the race.
Oh, no! In front of that, a tail Lytle car dashing to the inside, coming back up into the field. Gotta watch out as drivers 3, 4 wide. Scary moment there. As Darius Goodman, gotta be careful for the 51. He got himself in a tricky situation there with Tate Lytle, but they hold on and we stay green.
Stay green, and scary moment for that 53 and the 2 as they able to keep it going. But yeah, it looked like we were going to have another caution out on the racetrack. Luckily, they were able to gather it back up. And Darius, no relation to me, but always cool to see another Goodman out there on the racetrack. Glad to see he made tonight's show after missing last week at Daytona, making his first start in the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. And making an eventful one there for a minute, but right now trying to settle back in and calm her down a little bit. But back, actually, let's see, up front, Hank Steinmiller still leading and hasn't really pulled away too much on the 56 of Garrison Hogan, about a 0.2 of a second lead. And now Crump, we're talking about him moving up through the field in third. You even see that 29, Trevor Elam, trying to hang on in the top 5 as well. But don't look now, Chad Frankenfield in that top 5. Let's see if he's burnt up his stuff or he's going to be making a late charge here.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the drivers right now, just over the radio, drivers questioning, how are you so fast, Gerald, as well as what's going on, Thomas? Well, Gerald came over the radio. I got fresh rubber, and he is utilizing it up to 7th. But you see this right now. Elm trying to make the inside lane work right on that white line. We've been seeing drivers like about a groove higher than the white line. That 29 trying to find a little bit more speed, but it might have been a just slight contact as they go really drag stripping it down the backstretch into turn number 3.
Yeah, just a little kiss between the 29 and 90 as Elam takes over that third spot and closes in on the back end of that 56 of Garrison Hogan. As we complete lap number 56, or 55, coming to 56 here. Now we're on 56. As these top 4, you can about throw a blanket over them. As so far, single file, they're trying to play it smooth, play it smart. There's a lot of racing. They know they have that 31 car here of Gerald Campbell on that fresh rubber, and he is moving through this field. And it probably won't be too much longer before he works his way up to the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think from our first stint, everyone at this point was already pretty spread out by over about 4 to 5 seconds between first all the way back to 10th position. Everyone has really kept it a lot closer this go around. I think it's because of the mixture of drivers that are on older and newer tires, as we're starting to see Gerald Campbell trying to set up that Chad Frankenfield to try to make this pass. We're past halfway, by the way. Got to give a big thanks for everyone that's joining us on the Elite Racing Network to be watching that of the SMRI Productions Grand National Series, as right now race number 2 for that of the Memory Lane 150. Currently, that is Hank Steinmiller up front, but it was Garrison Hogan doing a great job at our first stint, leading and winning. I mean, looking like he was going to be one of the most dominant cars to watch out for. But Garrison Hogan, he has gone with a different approach, it looks like, this go around. He's been pretty content with just following that of Hank Steinmiller and not trying to get too aggressive. I think all these drivers recognizing if we keep it close, I think the major factor is once we get into pit road, who's going to have the freshest rubber, as well, who's going to have that track position in front of the driver in front of him for that later run.
Yeah, it looked like even on that first run for Garrison, when he was behind Frankenfield, when he was leading, he was patient, but then maybe it was when Chad maybe burnt up his stuff just a little bit more than that 56. He got around to it, and then once he got to the clean air and smooth sailing, looked like he put the hammer down. And then we did see that 63 of Steinmiller run him down and take over that top spot. But right now, like you said, they are nose to tail right here for that second position. And it does look again that he's just kind of waiting, ready to pounce whenever we get that longer in the run, or maybe even after pit stops, just let it settle out until he has to. But again, with those different strategies, Gerald Campbell and Thomas Sherman, they've worked themselves past Chad Frankenfield and move Campbell up in the top 5. He's looking more to try to get around Scott Crump.
Top 5 all within a second of one another. Keeping it close, a little bit of a gap between that of Elman and Crump, but you just see on the entry of the corner, it's that 90 willing to get aggressive as our top 5 continue to try to inch closer and closer. And yeah, I think right now for that of Hogan, he's just waiting. He's being patient. He knows that once you see Steinmiller maybe slip up once, he's going to try to pounce on it. I got to say, for that of Trevor Elm, he is probably the one driver that I have the biggest question mark. I really don't know how fast that we're going to be seeing this 29. He qualified 10th, came into practice probably the 10th fastest there as well. I'm surprised to be seeing him running so well in our top 5 currently.
Yeah, sometimes it's just getting that track position, because sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to pass, or just not being in that cleaner air. And so far, Trevor Elam in that Budweiser number 29 Chevy, looking pretty stout, holding off that 90 of Scott Crump again, who was the pole sitter, had to get an EOL penalty, start in the back of the pack, worked his way up by staying out into that top 5. As right now, looks like even a little further back here, Dylan Thomas, we were talking about him before, he's worked his way up through the field and now put him into the 7th position. So trying to follow, again, that second place run at Daytona with another solid run. Looking so far so good for that 03 machine. As he gets around Frankenfield, and I got to wonder, especially with guys, again, like Frankenfield who like to short pit, you got to wonder, those guys that stayed out under this last caution, how soon do you think it will be before they duck down pit road?
Yeah, I mean, it was about a 9-lap difference of pit stops between the drivers that stayed out and those that pitted. Frankenfield, one of those drivers that did stay out, and the driver behind him, David Tooker, came in just topped off with fuel. So on similar tire strategies is the 15 and the 19, and it's going to be that of Matthew Weeks, who's on the fresher tires. But, I mean, at some point, we're 30 laps into a run for the drivers that stayed out, 21 laps into the run for the drivers that took 4 fresh tires. We're expecting the plateau to kind of happen where the tires equal out of the wear and tear, and it's more of how did you, the driver, conserve your tires compared to the rest of the field, as that of Matthew Weeks up to 8th for himself, a quick 2 for 1 on the backstretch.
I'm still kind of surprised. As far as lap times, it seemed to be running relatively similar, maybe a 10th or 2 different with some of these guys on older tires, but it seems like once they catch these guys, it's easier for them to maneuver, easier for them to pass, as you've seen Weeks easily get around that 15 of Frankenfield. He's now fallen back into the 10th position, but and another guy moving up here is Andrew Rucker. Wow, he's worked his way up into 11th, getting by Thornquist. It looks like we have a yellow.
Wreck in the back. Wreck in the back. Stopped in the middle of the back stretch is the 14. Casey Hatch going to be spun around, and he might have gotten a little bit of help. But I think our key factor driver that has been a magnet all night long for Jeff Green hit once again.
Oh, no. What a rough night for the 38. We'll see what happened to Casey Hatch. He's had a couple close calls here tonight as well. And oh yes, it appears that 38 was involved. We'll take a look at the replay here. It looks like Hatch got a little loose coming out of the turn, and just down, unlucky, nowhere to go, was the 83 of Michael Daniel Martinez and Jeff Green. So it appears so far that Jeff Green is just always at the wrong place at the wrong time, and looked like he made some heavy contact with the wall, as well as that 83 of Michael Daniel Martinez, as they bunch back up, and you see a little bit more. Well, it probably looks just about as bad as it did before, but I'm sure both the 83 and 38 are going to have some damage to fix as they come down pit road.
Yeah, and what's hilarious is this is around the exact same time that if I was going to come to pit road, if we stayed green throughout the whole entire race, this probably would have been my second pit stop window right at this timing of this caution. And our second caution of the day, or was our third caution that came out? It was right at that same window of around lap 32. Same kind of window here, around lap 65. This caution comes out, giving these drivers inside the window. They can make it from here on out, but some drivers that had already used their second set of tires are going to be forced to stay out unless some of these drivers are just going to use their final set now, which it's looking like some of those drivers making that decision. But our top 3, that of Gerald Campbell, Matthew Weeks, Tate Lytle, they are on extremely old tires, and they're banking on hoping that maybe the rest of this race goes yellow, and then they can take a final set with 20 laps to go, or less than that. I don't. The strategy call for our top 3 certainly is interesting. It looks like that of Thomas Sherman might have just drove right through pit road, did not get service. So that of Hank Steinmiller going to be the first driver with fresh rubber back in 5th place.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think Campbell banking on maybe another late yellow because it's a tough position with green flag roughly around 30 laps to go. If you use your last set of tires, it could hamper you and could be in a pretty bad spot if we do get a late race restart. And the way things have gone, we've had these little bit longer stretch of green flag runs, but I believe, like you said, it's around those 25 to 30 lap mark we do get a yellow. So it's going to be close if we get one more here. At the way, if I'm using Larry Mack's trends of the race here, if that will work out. But as you see here, Gerald Campbell, Matthew Weeks, Tate Lytle, Thomas Sherman staying out on the racetrack, inheriting the top 4 positions. As man, just crazy different strategies. I almost just can't wait to see how this plays out.
Oh, if I'm Hank Steinmiller, I'm kind of irritated on the fact that I'm on the inside. That of Hogan is going to be on a great spot. All he needs to do is just go up into that, what we call the Kyle Larson line, run right up to the wall with his fresh rubber, and he's going to blast by our top 4. As really our top 4, they don't have any true grip anymore. They've been on this set of tires for over 22 laps of green flag racing. That is a lot of wear and tear. They're going to be about a second to a second and a half off of what their best times were. While everyone else from 5th on back, they've got fresh rubber and they're willing to use it.
Yeah, and you got to wonder too. We've seen what the speed difference was from just 9 lap different tires, and now with 22, that's going to be quite a bit. And just to note, we were talking about the Kyle Larson line. For all you older people out there watching, I know this is what I still refer to it as. I remember watching this man race. It's the Harry Gant line, the high, wide, and handsome, running right up against the wall. If so, just a different generational note there. Had to throw. I just had to mention Harry Gant at least once in this broadcast.
You have to do it at least one time, otherwise it's not a complete broadcast. That is for sure.
As we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. When they hit the line, it'll be lap number 70. Getting down there with 31 laps to go in this event. Gerald Campbell, he was making that charge on fresher tires. Now he'll have some of the older tires on the field along with the other top 4. And we'll see how this race will play out as they're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace car is going to dive off. Gerald Campbell gets a great restart, though. That's probably all he could ask for as he takes the lead going down into 1. And right now, it'll be Lytle and Weeks. They looks like their teammates. They're forming it out going into turn 1. But behind them's Thomas Sherman having a rough go on those old tires as he's getting hounded by those guys on fresh ones. And just as you predicted, Hogan on that outside, he's got a great run.
Yeah, they're going to be 3 wide right now for going for 4th place. It's going to be that of Sherman, Steinmiller, Tate Lytle, who's on the old tires, stuck in the middle, and the rest of the pack, they're going to push this to get him moving. But if he gets hit in the wrong quarter panel, that is right in front of most of the field. A little bit of super speedway racing we're seeing here. Pack racing as already wrecking in the back. It's not even the drivers we were worried about. Cars flipping. That's going to be Brent Jones who tried to run on that above the pit road pit wall. Oh, quick yellow, and this is exactly what that of Matthew Weeks and Campbell wanted as well for Tate Lytle. This quick caution to burn off more laps.
Oh, and that 89 car is destroyed after having a rough and tumble time out there to bring out this latest caution. We'll see if we can get the replay going here. And for some reason he's not showing up on the screen. Was there any?
Looks like, I mean, it was a lot of drivers involved with this. The 3 of Scott Haney, he was one of the drivers that was the initial spin, got into Brent Jones, as well as Durer was involved into the wreck.
So we'll see if we can get the replay going here. Oh, yeah, heavy damage to the front end, as you see, as they're getting back around.
The 3's going to be an initial catalyst of this, and he's going to get loose coming out of the corner, but everyone else, they just could not survive coming out of the corner. His drivers just pile in after that.
It appears we were having, right during when the accident happened, I don't know if there was a server issue or something, but they're not showing up on the replay here. But, so unfortunately we won't see the chaos. I'll try one more time to get the get the race replay going. And it looks like there was some dead spot in the broadcast. Oop, had it for a second. As we try to get back. It might be tough luck on the replay there. So, as you see there, the 89 again on pit road after going through a tumble, and see Scott Haney there in the 3, heavy damage as well.
Yeah. Trey doesn't have a front bumper or hood. That 88 looks like he'll probably be done for the day. Ethan Burrell into pit road, getting service. Scott Haney, Martinez, as well as the 24 involved.
Yes, a lot of cars.
6 to 8 drivers all involved in this thing.
Oh man, even Ethan Burrell was involved in that too.
I believe Ethan Burrell might have gotten a little bit of a scrape, but it was a lot of drivers that were on the outside lane actually that could not avoid it, because a lot of the drivers, Scott Haney got loose, came down, clipped that of Brent Jones, who then came sliding up onto the track and actually ramped off to Dustin Doerr's front bumper and got launched up into the air, came down, slid all the way to the inside wall. While all of that jumping and sliding happened, about 6 other drivers piled up on the outside. I believe Ethan Reisner got a little bit of more rear end damage than he already had. As Dustin Doerr, I'm surprised he still has a front bumper after the contact, but sometimes net code can be the worst thing, and other times it can save your car. He's 32 still running out there.
Yeah, and even Scott Haney with his beat-up machine still going out there, still digging it. So a couple of my do-good compadres having some rough luck here tonight as they're back in the 32nd and 33rd position. And basically all I think they can hope for is just limping around as best they can and see if they can salvage anything whatever they can get here to round out this event. But appears back up front, the 11 and the 31 of Matthew Weeks and Gerald Campbell staying out on the racetrack once again. They're thinking this wrecking stuff's not done as they're still on those older tires, trying to still play out their strategy.
Yeah, all 4 drivers that stayed out on the previous caution to this, that of Matthew Weeks, Campbell, that of Tate Lytle, as well as Tom Sherman, all been staying out. They're all still in the top 10, so they're just going to keep themselves and hope that they aren't caught up in any of the messes. But, you know, the driver that's been involved in most of the messes that we had was not involved in this last one. Jeff Green did survive at least one wreck here tonight for that 38 machine, which I would imagine that is not really the award that he wants to be told. He wants to be told that he's up in the top 10, top 5, battling for a win, instead of being mired back in 29.
Yeah, tough run for him, but yeah, it's interesting. Some of these guys that have stayed out, they're almost playing poker here, trying to save that last set of tires. It's been interesting so far to see how this has played out. It's gambling a little bit, I think, are the 11, 31, the 2, and who was the other car that stayed out again?
And that was the Thomas Sherman, Matthew Weeks, that of Gerald Campbell and Tate Lytle, all were those 4 drivers. So the 11, 31, 2, and as well the 1.
Oh man, tough break. Tough break for them as far as trying to stay out on the racetrack. But I mean, it could all work out for them if we do get a late caution. 25 laps to go once they get the green flag going here. As you see, the pace car dives off. We'll see how well they can hold them off. Matthew Weeks getting a good start. Maybe not as good as the other guys have, but looks like he'll clear that 31 of Gerald Campbell. And Campbell now, he's got the guys with fresh tires trying to split them of Hogan and Steinmiller. And now Steinmiller is on that outside line trying to get a good run, but Hogan looking for the lead on the inside of Matthew Weeks on these old tires. It looks like he should have this lead in no trouble going into 3.
Absolutely not. It's going to be that of Garrison Hogan to the lead, passing Matthew Weeks, but the chaos is not over, as you still have the drivers that are running about a second slower than the rest of the field Still in the middle of all of this, and where that speed really that we're seeing from the drivers with fresh rubber over those that have 20 lap older tires in the rest of the field is in the center of the corner and on the entry. If you cannot, you have to really slow down with these older tires, and already ducking extremely low is going to be that of Chad Thornquist, who's able to get back up into the groove and running in 8th place. But right now, in the middle of all of this, is that of Tate Lytle, Sherman, that of Gerald Campbell. They're all going back, and they're blocking both two of the high lines, which that's exactly where you think, oh, contact going to be made. And there goes a great slide. And there he goes. Oh, the Rucker could not hold on. But we still stay green as they're sliding off the racing surface. No yellow comes out as the 63 has to get back underway, and he's going to lose all this ground stuck in the grass.
Yeah, he was trying to hang on, and it looked like a little bit more contact. We'll try to get a quick replay here as they are still, again, under green flag racing. Rucker almost had it saved, just a little bit of contact. I believe that was with the 46, as we'll see here how that all played out. Burrell getting into Campbell, Campbell getting into Rucker, and right there, a little bit more contact, but a good job by Rucker not turning up into the rest of the field. But unfortunate for him, though, no caution came out, but his car is still in one piece. He's still going. As you see him getting back back up to speed, trying to hang on to the lead lap. As right now, there you see Matthew Weeks still falling down through the running order. And there is your leader, Garrison Hogan, pulling away, staying ahead of the riffraff there. And I think we can attribute that right there, as you said, right before the wreck happened. Those guys in old tires, they were battling each other, kind of blocking the rest of the track up, and kind of chaos ensued.
Yeah, when you got two drivers that are extremely off the pace, side by side, blocking 2 lanes, it certainly is going to be a trouble. As I believe that was Goodman off course, extremely sideways, hard into the inside wall. Coming out to blown engine for the 53 as he's trying to just putter his way back to pit road. But again, no yellow as it's coming up to 20 laps to go.
20 laps to go. These guys are trying to dig and get everything they can here in the late stages of the race. And appears once again, had a dead spot there in the broadcast, but not able to get the replay there. You see him limping around. It looks like he's trying to stay out. And back up front, Garrison Hogan running a smooth race as compared to some of these guys in the back. And
yellow being ran. Yellow flies in the air as it's going to be that of Tate Lytle. Contact between himself and the 46, it looks like, at a turn number 4. And they just were bouncing off one another all the way down the front stretch and finally found themselves spinning on the entry of turn number 1.
Yeah, having a rough go of it here ever since he stayed out on the racetrack. And we'll see what brought out this yellow. Don't tell me again. We have another dead spot. And he disappears right as this contact happened. It looked like it started here between the 17 going 3 wide. Richard Hines making contact. They disappear. And
just having their own little party. They didn't want to invite us.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
Back on the racing surface.
So back under caution again. Late in the going. Looks like a lot of drivers coming down pit road. Get some last minute service here before our last little stint. So here we'll see if this paid off for anyone. Staying out on some of the older tires. See who's going to win that race off pit road.
Yeah, leading the drivers into pit road got to be that of Scott Crump as well, with Chad Frankenfield coming in, Thomas Sherman, all the drivers that stayed out on those older tires. Like I noted, they were looking for around lap 20 with 20 laps to go or under that to finally come to pit road. And they had a lot of other drivers that were in a similar spot where they still had that extra set. So they got that cue. Once you saw some of the drivers inside of the top 5, top 10 make their move into pit road, hey, why not come in? You might gain some more positions, as our top 13 currently did not come into pit road. They are on 16 lap old tires or more, and it's going to be that of Garrison Hogan, Steinmiller. They got to be hoping this race goes green and they're able to get a big enough lead, or hope that there's a ton of wrecks that just come piling in quickly.
Yeah, and that's I think some of the gamble we continue to see going here. That was maybe the strategy a lot of these top 13 drivers had. And I was going to note, Colin Fern worked his way back up, now into the top 5. He was working himself up through the field under that green flag run. See if he can make a last late charge here with about 15 to go. Once we get back going to green, and very confusing. Again, that 68, see how similarly painted. I think the only difference is the white of the tires. There in those paint schemes, 68 and 69. Doing the Brandon-built motorsports machines. And you see Andrew Rucker, did he stay out as well after getting in that spin? Kind of surprised he stayed in.
Andrew Rucker did stay out. Right, I have to believe Andrew Rucker might be one of the few drivers that actually is out of tires to continue on. Mark Keeler, as well as Zach Evans, Ethan Burrell, and a lot of these drivers, everyone from 4th all the way back to that of Mark Keeler. I believe all of the drivers that are still out here have used all their sets except for our top 3 and the 39, who's in 11th place.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one to make it to the end of the race with on the same set of tires that you're in. You're probably going to be a sitting duck, but you played that strategy out, and they got to get whatever they can here in the final remaining laps. We'll see what happens as we'll go back up front. See if the pace car lights, they are indeed off. So next time by, we'll come down to 15 to go. We'll be going back green flag racing. Try to decide who wins tonight's Memory Lanes 150.
Yeah, and as we're getting ready to go here, going to be 15 laps to go when we go green. Big shout out to C2 Freight Resources, as if you need any type of goods, such as that of perishable foods, office equipment, or any other things that you need to be moved, C2 Freight's Resources got you, as well as if you want to keep management of where your supplies are. C2 Freight's Resources has the EDI service, which electronically they can see where your supplies are. You can see them as well. But if you want more information, go to C2 Freight Resources online and go check out their EDI service so you can see where exactly your packages are.
C2 Freight, another good sponsor here for Elite Racing Leagues. Again, welcome aboard. Well, they've been on for a few seasons now, but always good to have them here. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing, pace car is going to dive off. Garrison Hogan lead him back to the green flag. And wow, what a start by Steinmiller, able to stay alongside for the most part, but now able to clear him is that 56 of Hogan on the inside. As right now Trevor Elam working his way up into that second position. So
all drivers contact, drifting away, and massive collision from 20th on back. Drivers all piled up, and it is carnage on the backstretch.
That looks like many cars involved there. You see 87 of Richard Hines. Heavy damage to the front end of his Ford. Tough break for him. Some more damage. I don't know if Dewar got he already had enough damage on his car. Man, I'm still surprised that 88 car is still out there. And we'll see what brought out this latest yellow. As people getting aggressive, are getting down to go time on these late restarts. See if we can get why every time a caution comes out.
It just isn't a fan at all.
It is
Matthew Weeks and Chad Thornquist that were the initial ones that got sideways, and it's just a lot of drivers coming in, heavy pressure. Vincent Isabella came in very quickly, gave a tap to Thornquist, and looks like Matthew Weeks did his best to try to hold on, but got a slight tap from a couple of drivers. Also some netcode that Adams might have been also one of the initial contacts, but netcode seems to be one of the biggest factors here tonight. As you see Isabella, see woefully Weeks, and there they go. That's what causes the initial incident, and to come up, pile into more drivers. And you can just see the smoke of everyone that's sliding.
And it almost appeared two different incidents at the same time. Thornquist a couple car lengths ahead of Matthew Weeks that was right behind Vincent Isabella. So it was a tale of two guys getting a little loose. Maybe even the field kind of reacting to that sideways car of Chad Thornquist. As you see, actually, Isabella gets a little loose going in the corner as well, as you've seen. Thornquist, then that contact in the back of the pack. And then, wow, just drivers getting going all over the place. Heavy damage to a lot of these machines. A 46. See him up against the wall there as well.
Yeah, just a little bit of synchronized spinning there. I think for that Thornquist as well for weeks, forgetting the Olympics are over. We don't need to synchronize anymore. Synchronized swimming's over. But certainly both drivers getting antsy at trying to make as many bold moves. I think everyone's recognizing, hey, there was only 15 laps left in this race. You got to get every inch possible, especially on the fact that we still had, at the moment of that caution that came out, we still had about 36 drivers all on the lead lap. So there was a lot of positions to be gained or lost if you found yourself losing any ground or gaining. But with that one wreck, it just put a lot of drivers forced into pit road, being many laps down. Trey Helms is one of the last drivers on the lead lap, but somehow Daniel Martinez, with no front bumper, no rear bumper, doesn't have a spoiler. That 83 is still puttering along. Our last one of the cars one lap down.
Yeah, it looks like, man, he's got some heavy damage to his machine there. You see, looking pretty close to a modify, as well as you said, that 88. I believe he is going to be the first car one lap down before we go green. He's basically a modified as well for both these guys. Unlucky nights, but still maybe could salvage something here to wind out the day. As man, we brought up earlier in that one wreck that we thought that 88 would have been done, and still being able to go out there and keep some sort of a pace is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, Trey is showing us right now that this is what some mental fortitude is. You keep yourself out there. You gain every point possible until that engine blows, because hey, you might need just 1 point, even with not a great day here today. But if you get 1 point, that this race gives you more than you could have had if you just gave up with that first wreck that you were a part of. It could be putting you in the playoffs with a great run here, great run further on into the regular season. But speaking of playoffs, if you get a win for one of these drivers, you're already punching your ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah, these guys up front, they're trying to punch themselves and not have to worry about bad days like Trey Holmes is having here tonight, or Jeff Green, another one that's been having a rough go of it, as we are ready to go back to green flag racing with the final 10 laps of the Memory Lanes 150. See who can win it. Different strategies being played out. And again, so far, Garrison Hogan, I think overall, has been dominating this race. Hank Steinmiller, the other guy that's given him a run, see if he has anything left. But how about that 29 of Trevor Elam? Ever since he got in that top 5, he's been making a statement here tonight. And we'll find out how this will play out as the pace car dives down pit road. And we are back to green flag racing with 10 laps to go in the Memory Lanes 150 here at Homestead. And what a great restart by that 56 of Hogan. And once again, that battle is going to be for the second spot, as it's going to be Steinmiller and Elam. But look at, wow, really running that Larson line up top is Colin Fern. Looks to pull the crossover move. He's on the inside of Elam as they're going down into turn 3.
Biggest goal right now for all these front runners, get the biggest gap possible, because once we get up to speed, Scott Crump, who's running back at 11th, he's got a lot of drivers with fresh rubber behind them that are willing to use their grip that they have to try to make a charge here. But luckily for a lot of these guys that are up front, a lot of these laps that they've had on their tires have been under yellow. So they're feeling pretty comfortable side by side. Still hard racing for that third position that you've been seeing. The 69 and the 29. Still keeping a hard contact for that of Fern into Elam. And oh no, they are scattering, dashing, and now it's going to be that of Josh Robin, who's up to 4th.
Yeah, Robin, how about that working up to 4th? You see a little bit of damage on the back end of Elam and the front end of Ethan Burrell. As now Josh Robbins trying to work on that 69 of Colin Fern going into turn number 1. He looks to be makes that pass, goes into position, move him up to 3rd. Dylan Thomas, he's going to try try to move up the ranks as well, putting the heat on that 69 machine.
Contact, the cars are dashing. Further back, drivers wrecking. It's Mark Keeler who's going to be bringing out the yellow. Hard contact for the 08. As this is going to be putting us with possibly 3 laps to go in regulation time.
It's going to be close if we go back into overtime. We'll get the replay going and see what brought out this yellow. It was the 08 of Keeler. Again, things were getting dicey all the way through the pack. This is just behind the action we were watching. And once again, it looks like he came down a little bit, and makes contact with Rucker going down. Gets the 84 as well. And heavy contact to the inside wall as you kind of conclude that he made there as he kind of blipped out on the replay screen.
Well, I don't know if you have the 46 either, but it was, again, a little bit of synchronized spinning. Both drivers did very similar things, and it might have been the 46 that brought out this yellow.
We'll see if we can get a quick look at the 46 machine once again of Ryan Barbary. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. And it appears we do not have the replay of him, but he's coming down pit road. Again, a rough night for that 46. It seems like almost every time there's been an accident on the track, that 46 has been around it. And I bet you he's looking forward to packing this one up soon as well. Man, he's out there without a rear spoiler right now. A little contact there between the 08 and the 46. They
both
come
the
down pit
drivers
road.
were actually given EOLs, so both of them just adding on to their issues that they're going to be having on this next restart. But, oh my goodness, it is now time. It's late in the race. We're now going to be in a scenario where if we get another caution, we're going into overtime.
Yeah, I would say it's going to be really close if we get back going to green flag racing under overtime or not. And I'm going to be curious to see how these two guys, they've been able to jump out on these restarts, and Hogan and Steinmiller. But it appears that Steinmiller was keeping pace with that 56, and now he's got to maybe be a little bit more aggressive than he initially planned, now that we're only going to have a couple laps under green flag to decide this one out.
And this is kind of a worst case scenario for that of Garrison Hogan and for Steinmiller. They put themselves in such a gap over that of Scott Crump and the other drivers behind them of David Tooker that have the faster tires that I think if we ran it green to the end, they might have had a big enough gap. Now they're going to be in a much tighter spot. Yes, the laps have been cut down, but that means Scott Crump is going to be a little bit closer, as now he's going to be in 6th place. That means he's going to be on the outside 3rd row. He's going to be right there, so close to getting up to the lead. Where Scott Crump has not officially, I don't think he's led a lap yet, but he has been up in our top 5 a couple of times after recovering from an EOL that he had at the start of the race. He got the pole position, but he's been working to get up to that lead spot all race long.
I'm still kind of wondering what did Crump get an EOL penalty for? Because it appears he has the proper banners on his machine. That's usually what people get the EOL penalties for.
Could have been a penalty possibly from last week. I was not officially given him putting a handicap on himself. Yeah, some drivers like to just get EOLs, be like, hey, I'm fast. Let's see if I can cut my way through the field just to make it a little bit more fun. But
yeah, and see if he can.
I don't know about these guys.
Yeah, see if he can make a last couple 5-lap dash as we are hitting 4 laps to go once they cross the line. 1 lap to go green. So this isn't a true overtime finish, but we'll have 3 laps to go once we go back to green flag racing. And man, these guys were aggressive on these restarts before. It's only going to get crazier now.
Yeah, and just to give note of some of the drivers that have officially parked it here this evening, Jari Brupatcher going to be one of the drivers of 39 car, going to be parking it for the night. Was in 30th position when he came into pit road, as well as Matthew Weeks, Darius Goodman, Brent Jones, and David Westergreen have all parked it for the night. Still Casey Hatch in pit road, as well as Kendall Noah Player, just getting repairs done for themselves, but unlikely they're going to be getting back out on the racing surface, as it's going to be that of Garrison Hogan. Hank Steinmiller, Colin Fern, Josh Robin, Scott Crump, your top 5. With Dylan Thomas, David Tooker, that of Travis Elam, as well as the 68, as well as Zach Evans, going to be your top 10. As the drivers are getting stacked up, ready to go. 3 laps to go. We're still in regulation. We'll see if we can make it to the checkered flag. Pace car is off, green flag in the air. It's time to make some memories for the memory lane. 150, Hogan already up front into turn number 1.
It's been a memorable night for that 56 indeed, as he's so far setting a good pace for himself coming out of turn 2. It looks like Steinmiller, those guys in the back of the pack, or second on back, looks like they're able to form it out as they go single file here late in the run. Not as aggressive as some of the restarts. Kind of surprised by that this late in the going. As you see coming on to turn number 4, 2 laps to go. Can the 56 hold on for 2 more laps and take that his first checkered flag?
I mean, right now he's doing exactly what he needed to do. Get a massive lead over 3/10 off of that of Hank Steinmiller. Steinmiller's been one of those drivers, the longer the run up went on, the faster he got. We haven't truly gotten a long green flag run, but you're seeing that of Dylan Thomas trying to block and defend, trying to get under that of Colin Fern for 4th place, as well as Crump, and that of Tooker battling side by side. As coming out of turn number 4, white flag in the air. We're finishing this thing as we go into turn number 1. It's Garrison Hogan up front. Josh Robin making the pass for 2nd place. This is killing any shot for anyone to make a pass for the lead. Garrison, he's loving this as he's coming out of 2. All the drama is battling back for 4th place.
Yeah, there's a battle right behind him. The best thing he could see going into turn number 3. All he's got to do is coast now as they're still dicing it out for 2nd place. Looks like Robin might be able to get it, but coming out of turn 4, it's going to be a first-time winner here tonight. Garrison Hogan's going to take the checkered flag of the memory lanes 150 here at Homestead.
Thanks, Steinmiller and Josh Robin going to be finishing 2nd and 3rd. But cars having issues. Crump spun out, it looked like, and he dropped like a rock. A lot of drivers got up into the wall. Dylan, that last lap for a lot of the drivers, hectic for most. But Crump coming to the checkered flag, got into the outside wall and lost over 15 positions coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, it looks like we'll take a look at the replay here. They're battling around that 5th, 6th position, gets sideways, and just unable to hang on. Makes a little contact with Thornquist, gets up into the wall, and loses a bunch of track position. Again, falling out of the top 10. I think he's going to be scored tonight in 21st. And chaos behind him, as you see. So the rough night for some of these guys, as it finally over for a lot of them. But your winner here, Chris Hogan, as he's burning them down, getting that checkered flag. What a run. Pretty much top 3 speed all night. Very impressive for that 56 machine, as he's able to pull it off and get the victory. Hank Steinmiller, looks like he did get that 2nd place, as we'll take a look at the results. As you see your top 10, as Garrison Hogan again getting that victory. Hank Steinmiller able to hold off Josh Robin for that 2nd place position. Colin Fern working himself up into the top 5 in 4th position. David Tooker in 5th. Dylan Thomas hangs on to into 6th position. How about Joshua Clark? We haven't talked about him much all day. Ends up in 7th position. Chad Thornquist, he had quite an eventful night, but hey, it ends up all right for him in 8th. Gerald Campbell in 9th. And Zishan Dira, how about that? Gets a 10th place run. Another guy we haven't mentioned all night. Solid run for him.
Yeah, 3 out of our top 10 drivers qualified outside of the 20th position, finishing in the top 10. Zishan, the furthest back, qualified back in 29th. As we're looking at the rest of the field, I mean, you had some front runners that you thought maybe were going to be shining up front, but man, for that of Joshua Clark, Dylan Thomas, as well as Fern and Zishan, what great rebounds for all these drivers. I mean, got to give credit to Zishan, driver we really didn't talk about much, and was running in the middle of the pack for most of this race, but came through clutch when it mattered at the end.
Yeah, and for how eventful this night was for so many of the drivers, it was not for that 56, as he's still pulling off his Polish victory lap here. It looks like now he's parked it to get that checkered flag, but we'll bring in our second place finisher for an interview, and that is Hank Steinmiller, as he was able to hold off that 8 car of Josh Robin. And Hank, man, it looked like you're one of the best 2 cars out here tonight, but unable to chase down that 56. Hank, was there anything else you could have done to maybe put yourself in a different position here tonight and get the win?
I would probably say, actually, and you know what, the strategy we did run was probably better than the rest of them because I didn't see any of them move back up to us after they did pit, but I was a little bit worried about that. I tore my tires up that second to last restart. I just didn't get into one correct, so I think I probably lost it right there. I don't know if we could have had enough to get around him, but there were points where I thought we were better.
I mean, Hank, it certainly was a great night for yourself. Like Michael said, you looked to be one of the top 2 drivers here tonight. What was the biggest factor on how you were able to save the tires throughout this night? Because it just looked tough with how fast everyone was.
Most of them are overdriving the corner. That's a big finesse track. You got to be easy in, easy off. So there's a lot of, they like to call it loose off the corner, but you just got too much throttle in it, and it's turning for you. Car will turn for you if you let it do its thing. So easy in, easy off, and it'll save the tires. And as long as you're not overturning the car, you'll be all right.
Yeah, all right, indeed. As far as you and Hogan for the most part able to stay out of the hectic stuff that was going on behind you, and again a good solid night. And as far as not getting that win, it's still very early on in the season. You maybe to think about points, but again, got to be happy with a solid points run.
Yeah, we're all right. I mean, I'm happy with the points run, but you always have that drop week. So I tried to do it 3 and 4. I didn't realize the top was not going to have that much grip up there. I tried to get that run down the front stretch to see if I could get to his bumper, but I almost lost second doing that. So I think it was a bottom feeding track tonight. I still wish we would have got the win. Win locks you in, and it doesn't matter what the rest of the season happens. Essentially you got to run good for about 3 races all year to win a title. So we'll take the points. We'll get in that way if we have to, but I really would have liked to have the win.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll see you back up front and in victory lane very shortly. But Hank, with that, any shoutouts you want to give?
Yeah, Lake Norman, all my guys there, all the teammates, David, Barberi, Dylan, Fody's not here tonight. I guess we did the best we could with what we had. Sponsors there, Juicebox Pod, catch them on Spotify, and Cloud 8 Delta. They're in stores somewhere around the east, all up and down the east region, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, stuff like that, West Virginia. So thank you guys for putting on a broadcast too.
Yeah, thank you, Hank, and hopefully we'll talk to you again in the near future. Actually, I'll be talking to you here in a little bit as we get ready for the Erska race here tonight, so hopefully you can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, we'll see you over there.
Sounds good. Hank Steinmiller coming home in second position here tonight. Next up, we'll bring in the guy who finished third, and that was Josh Robin. And Robin, it looked like you were making a last second charge for that second position, battling side by side with Steinmiller, just falling a little bit short, but overall got to be pretty pleased with the night.
Yeah, for sure. Third place. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been in the booth for a top 3 finish, but yeah, I tried to get him there at the last lap. He went high in 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. I was like, oh, that's odd. And yeah, then we're side by side. But I thought about sending it in there in the turn 3, but yeah, I didn't want to mess up anything.
I mean, Josh, you're one of the few drivers that was able to make their way forward. I mean, how was it being on older tires, knowing that you had the threat of Scott and many others with fresher rubber trying to run you guys down? How was it trying to stay mentally focused on trying to move up as far as you could?
I don't know. I was just gonna let it, whatever happens. Just obviously the cautions helped a lot. That's what I was hoping for. So it kept me up there. Got by Colin and Trevor was when they made contact. And that put me in third. Pretty good spot on that last restart, but yeah, it was a pretty good race overall. Wish there's less cautions though. I like to save tires, then go, charge up front on long runs.
Yeah, long runs, you were able to charge up, get that third place finish. And yeah, it seems like as of late you had a little bit of tough luck getting into incidents, not of your own doing. So here tonight, with all the craziness that was going on around you, it must be nice to have that car pretty much go home the same way it rolled off the truck.
Yeah, it feels good. Last week, at Daytona with all those races, man, I had a rough week, man. I like plate racing. It's one of my favorites. And I'm pretty good at it, but just last week was rough.
Yeah, a good rebound indeed. But before we send you off here, Josh, any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for broadcasting. To all the admins, Chad, that put these league races on. It's a lot of fun racing here. And to everybody that shows up to race, it was a pretty good race, and that's about it.
All right, well, thank you, Josh, and hopefully we'll see you here next week. Get some more interviews in, maybe even a win.
Yeah, we'll get that win.
Heck yeah. Best of luck to you in the future here, Josh, and have a good night.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Josh Robin finishing third, and now we'll bring in our winner of tonight's Memory Lanes 150 here at Homestead. It's Garrison Hogan. And Garrison, man, it looked like you were the class of the field for the most part all night long. What's your secret?
Not really anything secret there. It's just a little bit of time of being on the sim and putting in a lot of hard work. Doing other vehicles all the time on oval. You just figure out things slowly, and I'm not perfect or anything like that. So I have a lot of work to do, and it's a long way to go before I'm actually really, really good. I'm just sitting here to run laps and log laps in the B car and have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, Garrison, you only had a couple of real stints with these tires to worry about here tonight. What did you really learn from each pit stop with each tire wear that you were seeing throughout this race?
So for me, in general, with the tire right now and what I'm on with my wheel settings, I've kind of changed up a little bit lately, and it's just something that I'm trying to change for the Road to Pro season. So I kind of applied it to every other vehicle, and the tires were doing the same thing they normally do at Homestead. The racetrack has lower grip level, but it's a night race, right? So it doesn't kill the tires nearly as bad when you carry a little bit more speed through the center. But you also have to still be careful. You can't carry too much throttle, or else you're going to still burn your right front up. And the tire wear did show that. For a lot of people, it really did burn up the right front, maybe like 3-4% more. If you save your tires really well, at least 2%. So it just depends on how hard you pushed it through the center of the corner and then up off the corner. And it's very line sensitive too.
Yeah, and it looked like you had, as far as tire management was concerned, you had it figured out more so than a lot of the other guys out on track here tonight, and really didn't put yourself in position to get in the chaos behind you. So that had to feel pretty good.
Yeah, and that's, again, just going back to experience, running a lot of races, being in Road to Pro, testing a lot with my team that I'm on, and doing other things as well that have been really competitive in E-Racer and other events. You can be back there in the chaos off a bad strategy, and you still have to find a way. But luckily, I didn't put myself back there in that hornet's nest, I'll put it like that. So it wasn't anything that was terrible to try to get through. I just kind of kept myself at the front.
So sounds like you have a lot of experience outside of Elite, but again, a newcomer to this series. What kind of goals are you setting for yourself for the season now that you got that first win?
Yes, I was supposed to be here last week for Daytona. Unfortunately, work kind of held me out of that. So got home in time for this one, and hopefully for the rest of the season. It's kind of around that borderline late hour for me, but I'm just kind of looking to get into some races, get experience in the B car, try to figure out the tire wear, just learn everything I can about the car when it's a fixed setup, because that's what it's really about. And then when it goes to the open setup, of course, for me, it's going to translate a little bit here and there, but it doesn't really do as much, but at least you can learn the fundamentals here and there about it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it looks like you're on the right track to figuring that out, indeed. But before we send you off, let you celebrate your victory here tonight. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, just thanks for my guys here in the Discord. We have a Discord over here, and they invited me to the Pro Edge team. And these are my guys from PlayStation all the way back. We used to race NASCAR 15, and I started in NASCAR '09 just doing console, and I did it all the way up through 15. So, getting back hooked up with them, having some fun has really been good for me. And yeah, I look forward to the rest of the season. I'm repping my team, Dead Zone Racing, and we're just gonna go out here and have some fun and race with the fellas from PlayStation days.
Heck yeah, that sounds awesome. And congratulations again, Garrison. And hopefully next week I'll see you out on the track. I'll be the guy you're laughing probably once or twice.
Hey man, you never know. So I mean, hey, I'll see you out there.
Heck yeah, good win, Garrison. Hopefully we'll be hearing from a lot more from him in the future.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Garrison Hogan getting that victory here tonight, and what a dominating performance it was, Sam, as far as him playing that strategy perfectly, as he was talking about managing his tires. It seemed like he had it all figured out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he just came in and we were hearing from him. He's got the experience and he's willing to learn the setups and how to adapt. And for Garrison Hogan, all that learning and knowledge he took certainly helped him out. I mean, in only 3 laps, he gapped that of the side-by-side racing of that of Steinmiller and Robin by 7/10, and that was all that he needed. Able to hold up back. Also, the drivers that were on fresher tires that kind of showed they needed those green flag runs to try to utilize that fresher rubber. There just wasn't enough time for them to cut their way through the field.
Yeah, it was just a little bit short indeed, but again, congratulations tonight to Garrison, and you can tune in on Wednesday night for our Cup race, and that will be at New Hampshire right here on the Elite Racing Network. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to tune in for that. So for Sam Dyer, I'm Mike Goodman. Thank you all for tuning in to tonight's Memory Lanes 150 at Homestead. We'll see you all next time.